welcome. Welcome to Jets TV. Please comment, rate, subscribe, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. Also share the videos, man. I want to thank everyone that does watch and share my videos. You folks are the absolute best. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to talk about the Jets roster. I left off at the D-line as I was kind of going through our roster, kind of seeing what we could do to get better, who was going to be here, who wasn't going to be here. Now, after the cuts, a lot of people hit me up and said, hey, what's going on? Our linebacker spot, our secondary, are you going to cover those things? Absolutely. The NFL season is fast approaching, and I'm going to talk about the Jets, baby. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. We'll do some pick'ems a little bit later in another video, but right now I'm going to focus on the Jets roster, particularly at the linebacker spot. So let's get into it. When we talk linebackers here, look, there's some guys that got cut, sadly. David Bass was one of those guys. Kind of shocked me a little bit, but not really. He's a guy that had a solid year for us last year, showed some pass rush, which again, if you're a Jets fan or not a Jets fan, let me tell you, we have issues defining a solid pass rush here. We really don't have one. There isn't really a remnants of one here. But he, showed some flash last year as a pass rusher. This year kind of was up and down in camp, kind of was up and down in preseason as well, so they moved on from him. Dylan Donahue, another guy that got cut as well. It sucks to see this. He's a recent draft pick of Mac. He has some issues off the field, DUIs. Outside of football, I wish him the absolute best. I hope he continues to get help for his issues off the field. But, with the suspension looming and what could come here, I'm pretty sure they were like, hey, let's just cut ties. He hasn't really shown us enough on the field either. And they decided to move on, which hurts because, again, this is a guy that Mac just recently drafted. A guy that really surprised me, Frankie Louvu. I was really surprised that he got cut. This was a guy that really showed and proved this year. He came out, put it all on the line, and was absolutely blasting people. Made a lot of plays. I thought he would make the roster because of it, but he ended up getting cut. But we were able to stash him on the practice squad, so I'm very excited about that. But I'm really surprised that this guy did not make the active roster. Next guy that got cut, Lorenzo Mauldin. Oh, Jesus, man. I love Lorenzo Mauldin, but honestly, at the end of the day, he never was really able to put together something consistently to show us why he should be here. He was the guy that was brought in to be our pass rusher. We saw flashes. We saw the ability to get there, but we didn't see it often enough. Injuries, up and down play. It just never worked out for us. I wish Lorenzo Mauldin the absolute best because he's a great guy and he did a lot of things for the community that really, went under the radar. So shout out to Lorenzo Mauldin, but he didn't make the roster either. Mentor is another guy that surprised me as well that didn't make the roster simply because his familiarity with Bowles' system. This is a guy that's been in the scheme before, veteran, knows what to do out there, but they just saw fit to say, he's not going to make the roster this year, so it is what it is. I mean, there were some guys there, man. But when you look at the guys that did make the active roster here, and again, we're not going to go through every single one of them, just the main guys that I think are going to really be able to do something here, pretty much the starters. Josh Martin. Josh Martin is here, and he is doing his thing, man. I think that this is a guy that could really show and prove this year. He was one of those guys that kind of showed a bit of an ability to be a pass rusher, but again, he's a guy that wasn't consistent, not consistent enough to be like, that's the identified guy, that's the pass rusher for us. That's the guy that's going to get to the quarterback from you. But a very solid special teamer, yes he is, and a solid pick there, outside linebacker. So I like them keeping him here, and I think he's got a really defined role as a starter there. Darren Lee, I like Darren Lee a lot. This is the year where I think it's like, put up or shut up with him. Because he's got the ability, we've seen it, but it's the consistency issue specifically in coverage. And also as a pass rusher. I think this year in the defense, what we'll see him moved around a lot. And I think that's going to benefit him. Because he's so athletic, because he can be so explosive as a pass rusher, once he's moved around the defense and being put in spots where he doesn't really have a lot of hands on him and he can just absolutely rush and get to the quarterback, I think that's going to benefit him a lot. But Bowles and Casey Rogers have to put him in the right spot because having him just go head up with these tackles, and once they get their hands on Darren Lee, even though he is explosive, even though he is very athletic, I mean, he's a smaller guy. He can just get swallowed up. I mean, it is what it is. Also, another part of Darren Lee's game that needs to get better is coverage. Whew. Running backs, tight ends have given him fits in the past. He's got to clean that up. He's got to be more consistent in coverage. If he is more consistent in coverage, it is going to do a world good for this defense because he's going to be able to be out there and kind of shut guys down, and there won't be any open spaces or holes out there for these backs to slide out and these tight ends to get up the seam and get going. So you look at the other side, the other inside linebacker. Avery Williamson, I like this guy a lot. Big free agent acquisition for us. He's going to come in. I think he's going to be the guy that's really solid as far as running downs. You know, that 3rd and 1, that 3rd and 2, that 3rd and 3, where teams are going to want to kind of load up and just absolutely cram the ball and get that first down. He's going to be the guy that's going to come down there and stop all of that. He's going to shut all that stuff down. I'm looking to see a bit more from him in coverage as well. He's only, he's been here a short amount of time, so we'll see how he works within the scheme. But I think where he's going to make his bread and butter is absolutely just stoning the run. He's going to be a guy that's going to be out there and run support, just laying the lumber. So I'm excited about Avery Williamson. The other outside linebacker, my guy, your guy, Jordan Jenkins, man. I love this kid. I absolutely love him. Lunch pail guy, sets the edge extremely well. But the thing I think needs to really step up about his game, and he's shown improve, it's going step by step, but this year needs to make a bigger step, is the pass rushing element of Jordan Jenkins' game. He's got better with his hands. He's working on that in the offseason. This kid is doing it, but once he becomes a consistent pass rusher, if he really adds that part to his game, he'll literally be the only pass rusher we have. I mean, there's really no competition there. Like, if he can get to the quarterback consistently and get out there and just make it a long day for guys that want to drop back and survey the field, to try to match up with our defense. If he can get in quarterbacks' heads and start blasting people, man, Jordan Jenkins is going to be out of this world good. I mean, he's got pretty much everything else. He's a solid coverage linebacker. He does well in run support. He can do his thing out there. But if he adds that pass rushing element and really gets better this year, sky's the limit for this kid. So my 2 breakout linebackers this year that I really want to identify is Jordan Jenkins and Darren Lee, man. If those 2 guys step up this year and really take it to the next level with their game, we're gonna be a very, very, very stout up front, very, very stout up front defense. So with that said, again, guys, please comment, rate, subscribe, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, like the videos. I'm going to continue to go with our roster spots, so just kind of clearing that up before I go talk about our picks, man. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Peace.